Welcome to Spirit Talk Live with the Divine Medium, everyone. Today we are going to pay homage and honor to all the 9/11 victims. I've had a lot of questions on my Facebook page, the Divine Medium on Facebook, and questions on my personal page about just wanting to discuss 9/11, kind of what happened with all of that. One of our first questions comes from Mona Comptonson. Can you talk about the souls that entered heaven in a mass exit from Earth on that day? And Amanda Squirrels loved the question. So to answer that, what happens is we have souls that have contracts that are linked. And usually when they're linked, they leave all in one time. These souls specifically have come to Earth to leave in a mass leaving, and they all enter heaven all at once. This happens a lot with mass shootings, 9/11, just things in general that Earth needs to learn from. These big events, Earth needs to learn from. It's very important for souls to learn from them. And what we saw with 9/11 especially was coming together in America. And I mean, there was things like, I think I heard a story one time where a lady dropped her purse and this guy followed her for 5 blocks to hand it to her. It really opened the hearts of not only the New Yorkers, but all of America. It really opened everyone's heart to kind of help and join together in this tragedy. And that was the whole point of it. When you have a tragedy, it breaks open the heart to allow love back in. Okay, our next question is, if our loved ones are reincarnated before we die, can they still meet us once we cross over? Yes, this is very important to understand that no matter what your loved one is doing, you're going to be reunited. I hear this so many times that people are so worried that their loved one isn't going to be there or their loved one isn't going to remember them. And that is very, very not true. Your loved one is going to recognize your soul, not your physical. And they're going to remember not only this life with you and this life, but all the past lives you had with them. I get worried about people that think that, their loved one isn't around or they're not going to see their loved one when they pass. It's so not true. God would not do that to you. Okay. You're going to remember every single person that was in this life and all the other lives. So don't worry about if your loved one is going to see you or if they're around. If they're around, you're going to notice. They're going to show you signs. And the second you get a sign, and that person pops in your mind, that's the person, that's the soul that's showing you that sign, okay? Our next question, let's see. How do we learn what we placed in our soul contracts before reincarnating here? You're basically doing it, Lauren. You're living out your soul contract. There's no reason to kind of tap in or do anything like that because your soul contract has everything that you wanted to learn. So based off your daily decisions, you're already learning it. You're already walking it. And the reason you're not really technically supposed to be tapping in into that soul contract is because you're almost kind of altering what you're supposed to be learning. Now, when I do my spirit guide sessions, which are called the Spirit Guide Communications on the website, thedivinemedium.com, these are strictly getting you answers that you need right now in your life. Maybe there's something you're going through. Maybe there's some trauma that you're trying to get over. I can tap in and talk to your guides and get to understand your soul contract as it's playing out now. Anything further than that is almost actually taking away your free will. You don't want to be going and messing with that. Now, I got the question before, how does Akashic records and soul contracts differ? Your Akashic records are the lives you played out already. Your soul contract is the life you are doing currently, okay? Once that life is over, it goes into your book of knowledge, your book of life, and that's the Akashic records. That's the library of all the lives that took place here. Can our soul contracts change based off the choices we make on our journey? The soul contract, it has nothing to do with changing the soul contract. However, the soul contract can be altered. So let's say, for example, you go through a breakup and you're really having a hard time with this breakup. You can't get over it. You're just struggling. You're crying all the time. Your guides will go to the councils of the elders in heaven and ask them, listen, our charge, our soul that we're in charge of is really having a hard time, really struggling. It's not in her soul contract to commit suicide, and is it okay if we help her along? And they'll go through all the different soul contracts, because when you change something in your soul contract, it actually causes the domino effect with every soul contract around it. So they have to be very precise, very careful as to what changes they will bring to the soul contract. So they most of the time they can, if they see that it won't cause anybody else problems, they'll adjust. And then that's when it happens. Let's say, for example, you're very depressed, maybe you're suicidal, and for 3 days, okay? And on that last day, maybe for 3 hours, you're bawling, you're having a hard time. After 3 hours, all of a sudden, it just seems like everything went away. Like, wow, I feel better. That's when the soul contract choice that your spirit guides did for you took effect. It hit you right at that moment, and they fixed everything so you wouldn't be suffering. If they don't feel you need to suffer, they're not going to put it. If they feel you're not going to learn from that suffering, they're not going to put you through it. Okay, they're going to do everything they can to pull you out of it. Okay. Let's see. How do Galactics learn who they were if they have no recollection of that lifetime? All Galactics know their lifetimes. Here's what I see with some of these questions is you guys tend to put energy into a little box or a bottle, okay? And you don't want to do that. Energy can be everywhere. You're just energy, and you have on a costume. You have to have this costume to live here on Earth. It has to breathe its air, eat its food, sleep, all these things. And what you need to understand is once you're out of this body, you're free. You can do whatever you want. You can have multiple lives going on. And lately, actually, I've been, and I know it's another part of my soul tapping in, but I'll be like maybe doing my makeup. I was doing my makeup today, and I felt like I was hearing like the wind and the crickets outside, like because it was getting like to be dawn time, and I felt like this sense of like it was a different emotion I was kind of going through, and it was like a familiarity, like I remember it, but I'm not remembering the life it came from. And I felt at that very second like there was another part of me tapping in to where I was, and I was feeling the energy from that life. I just did it before I started, when I was upstairs doing my makeup, and I was like, that is not the first time that's happened. I've been feeling it like the last 4 days. I'll just be in my bathroom, or maybe I'll be upstairs, working, and all of a sudden I get this like calming familiarity effect from another life. And I know it's another life because I haven't felt it here. Right. And I can't explain it other than that. And our souls can do that. However, it's not, it's, I don't want to say frowned upon, but you technically don't want to go tapping into other lives, but it seems like parts of my other lives that are playing out are tapping into my life here for some reason. It's like they're pulling at me. Yeah. And I think it's because the veil is thinning and this is being able to happen now. Yeah. Right. Like somebody had asked me about that post I posted about that lion. The lion jumped up and was like hugging the people and just wanted to rub up on the people. And somebody said, is this due to the veil thinning? And I'm like, yes. That's exactly it. They're feeling energy different, and they're not taking it as anger. They're taking it as love instead. Can one have too many crystal buddies? Well, no, I can't even with that. Don't even try. Justin had said earlier we have to sweep around the crystals. There's so many in my house. However, there's not too many crystals. You can have a lot of crystal buddies. However, you just want to be careful. You don't want to mix too many Like I have way too many in this container, but you don't want to kind of have like this one next to this one, okay, or this one next to this one, okay. It's like having an upper and a downer. Okay, you don't want to like kind of mix those energies. I try to keep the darker ones on the other side at the end of the trail, or the, what would you call this, the trough. Yeah, it's like a wood trough. It's I have. Okay. Can our it's the same question. Can our loved ones see us through, though, even though they have crossed over? Yes. I can't remember who it was, but somebody had said, oh, here it is. It's Amina Tolan. What is that blur we see sometimes when turning that disappears when we look back? And then somebody else had asked, I keep seeing this sheer curtain out of the corner of my eye. That is the veil. I explained this on I think it was the last couple episodes on the radio show, last couple Tuesdays, that, the veil is this thin, iridescent, fabricy, liquidy thing. And you literally can it felt like when I was there, when I was, by my car accident, and I was looking through the veil, it almost felt like I could go like this and pull it, like it was like that glue. Right. Like that rubbery glue. That's what it kind of felt like. And it's iridescent. It's blurry. It is blurry. You can't really, see the other side from it. But it's thinning. And I think that's why people are seeing sparkles and shears and blurs. That's what it is. Can you simultaneously exist in different spaces at times? Yes, we just went over that. Amina Tolan. She's got great questions. She's just like Melissa Reams. Just awesome questions. Same thing with Mona. It's just great questions. Okay, let me see. While riding, and this is the same thing, while riding in a car and a song comes on, is that the memory of a loved one showing that to you, like through an event? Yes. You guys have to understand that your loved ones can manipulate the radio, they can manipulate songs, they can manipulate anything that has energy to do it. They can manipulate this. I'm going to go down a little bit. There's hundreds and hundreds of questions, and I can't get to all of them. Melissa Reams ask, can non-gifted people see auras too? Okay, my answer, I almost said no, but Maria's saying in some instances, yes. Non-gifted people can tap in and see auras, but there's a difference between gifted and kind of getting a glimpse. It's kind of like getting a nibble of cake, but you don't get the whole cake. If you have a gift, you see it all the time. If you're non-gifted, you might get a glimpse of it here and there. Doesn't mean you actually have the gift of that. You're just being granted to see it. Melissa Doreen says, we like learning from you. Thank you very much. Okay. Amanda asked a question up here somewhere that said somebody said, great question. Okay, tragic situation like 9/11, why does it happen? What are we supposed to learn from it? Okay, I guess we just went over that, so I don't really have to go through that again. Why are there so many religious wars going on in the world? Will that always be man's divide? For right now, yes. The problem is they take this book, and this book was made for love and learning. And they take this book and they turned it into hatred and judgment and pity and just petty rudeness, petty meanness. And they changed it. And the book is about love, and they take it and they use it for judgment. And what you basically need to do is pray on those souls, because they're not getting it. They're not waking up. Okay, Mr. Bates has a ton of questions. Let's go down and look at Linda Palmer. Again, I think tonight was mainly about tapping into multiple areas. Her question was, can we be living more than one life experience at the same time in a different dimension? Very much, Linda. That's what I was just explaining. Okay. Megan McDonald, great, great question. Who built Stonehenge in England? And has God, I'm guessing she's saying, why has God have different versions of humans every 5 years, like Earth is in a constant cycle? Okay, Earth is in a constant cycle because it's grows and learns. And I think I saw that question earlier today, and I was kind of reviewing it with Maria, my guide, and I had said to her, she was kind of talking to me about, God is still learning. If you think that God isn't still learning and he's just sitting there and he's bored, he's not bored. He's not going to keep himself bored. He's going to keep himself learning like we do. So with each cycle, humans are getting better. Aliens are getting better. We are them. They are us. And who built Stonehenge in England? Basically, what I'm getting is they weren't from Earth. They weren't human. The biggest thing right now, guys, is you have actual alien here. I am one of these hybrids, and we're here to help you guys. We're here to adjust the energy here so that you guys. Basically what's going on is we need to see that you guys are ready. Are you ready to get to the next level? Are you ready? Get ready, because it's coming. The veil is thinning. And obviously you guys are noticing the weather. You guys are noticing animals are being more loving and just different. Some animals are becoming more extinct. Those are the animals that don't want to be here for this. There's a lot of people just suddenly passing. Like I can't, I just talked to you about it.
Yes.
I just had 4 people, I think it was last year or the year before, just all of them died at one time. They aren't meant to be here. They are leaving so they don't have to go through this next phase. And I bravo to them if they want to go, if they can't handle it, at least they're owning up to it and saying, I'm not ready for this. I'm not the type of soul that can handle this right now. Okay. Michelle, like we were just talking, she said the natural disaster is why so many right now, especially what is going on in North Carolina with all the wildfires. Michelle, I don't watch the news. I intentionally don't watch the news because if I have somebody coming in for a reading, I can't be tainted in any way. So I really don't know what's going on in Northern California. But I did have somebody contact me and say that, do you remember when we were heading to Florida? I did that live feed about Myrtle Beach, about it being submerged underwater. Somebody said, I believe that prediction is happening now, Christina, and I hope that it isn't. And I have no control over the prophecies that I get. I get them because I'm warning you at this time, or what I'm getting, please watch where you're going. Please keep yourself safe. And that was probably the main reason why. Okay, prime example, 9/11. I told you guys, these things happen in mass passings, mass leavings. Okay, these are mass contracts and they're mass leaving at one time. Now, do you guys kind of find it funny that, let's say, for example, we have somebody on TV and they're sitting there going, I was supposed to go that morning and I couldn't find my keys and I was late. And when I showed up, all this stuff was going on because it wasn't in their contract to leave with the rest of them. Okay. So they were kept away from the buildings. Do you see? So the mass leaving was only for a certain amount of people, and those certain amount of souls were meant to hold on. Those certain amount of souls were meant to not be part of that, and then the other ones were. Okay. So let me kind of go back. Okay, Tammy Webb has a great question. I get this a lot. Why would our loved ones not show a sign when we call on them? Tammy, if they feel, let's just say, for example, you have a soul, okay? And, okay, say, for example, this is their energy. Okay, so this is the soul and this is the energy that they're pushing out, okay? Now, you might have souls that push their energy out like this, real big, okay? And there's all kinds of stuff happening. Things are knocking down. You feel touched. You see a shadow of the corner of your eye. All this activity is happening. Whereas, let's say, for example, I have somebody that says, well, I get all these signs. Why do I get all these signs and my sister doesn't? Because that soul may be going through a harder time with that death. So Tammy, if you have somebody specific you're trying to call upon, they might be showing themselves, but you aren't, because either you're not aware or they're not pushing it out as much as you're expecting them to. What I usually tell people is don't force the issue. Just relax. Just let them come to you. Accept that they crossed and just be calm with it, okay? And once you do that, you're going to start to see the energy push out more. When you want it too much, they hold it back because they're almost kind of like teaching you to have patience and to believe and, have that strong belief system. I had a lady that I was helping for like 3 months with her mother, and she just wanted to see her mom. She wanted to see her mom. And I worked with her. We used the pendulum. We talked. We did all this stuff. And she just one day just was okay with her mom being there. She was accepting it. She was letting go. And she called me frantic and was like, I need to talk to you. And I called her back. I said, what's going on? She said, I was just doing dishes and my mom's standing in the kitchen in her wedding gown. I didn't recognize her at first. You see, if you just let it go, relax your energy, because spirit can't really form around tense stress, okay? But if you notice, do you ever just sit back and watch TV and all of a sudden you see some out of your corner of your eye? Because the more restful you are, and this is why a lot of things happen at night, because you're at rest and you're relaxed, your soul's relaxed, and you're raising your vibration to their level. This is why you're being allowed to see all these things. If you relax, you raise your vibration and you allow it to come in. So just relax and let it happen. This is from Tammy Webb again, can we renegotiate our soul contracts? I wouldn't say renegotiate, but you can, again, it goes back to if you're having a hard time, your spirit guides can ask for a favor upon the elders in heaven. But I mean, if you're having a hard time, which is what I'm kind of feeling from you, Tammy, you're kind of just going through the motions of having a hard time. You can change that energy. You can really tap in and ascend that energy. Use crystals. Do sea salt soaks. Journal. I tell people all the time, I am tired, Cindy. But if you guys really having a hard time with somebody that passed, you guys journal. When my son passed, that's what I did. I talked to him through journaling. And I just one day just accepted that I'm not going to bring him back. I have this ability. I can tap in. However, it is self-gaining if I try to tap in like I would for somebody else. So I just said to myself, well, if he comes around, he comes around. And I was on the phone with the funeral director, and I look up and he's sitting on the couch kicking his feet back and forth. I was like, wow. The more I got it out of my system by journaling and things like this, it actually really, really helped. So, and what I mean by journaling, I mean journal to your loved one. Talk to them as if they're in the room, which they are, because as you're writing, you're actually talking through your mind, and they're hearing every thought that pops in your head. Every single thought that pops in your head, your loved ones can hear you. Real quick, I want to give you guys a way to find us or find me. TheDivineMedium.com is one way. If you're looking for crystals, sages, things like this to help your life, it's crystalcovespa.com. Everything in the shop. If there's something on the website you can't find, I will do everything in my power to get it for you. Everything is hand-picked by myself. I do not ship in unless I know the distributor, so I do know where the crystals come from, and every crystal we get in the shop is infused with healing. And it's my own kind of healing. I heal through Jesus and how he had taught me at that time. So another way to get a hold of us is on Facebook. We are actually doing the radio show right now live on Facebook under the Divine Medium. And Christina K. Watts, C-A-Y, is the personal page. Do a lot of things on personal page. I do want to announce real quick that I will be writing now for the Therapeutic Times magazine. Go out and get your newest edition that they have out right now. And I was approached today and we'll be doing articles for them. So I'm pretty excited about that. Just another step in the mission of the Divine Medium. So go out and grab your latest edition. They really have some great things in here. Crystals and just herbs and recipes. Just really great things to keep you healthy. So that is it for tonight, guys. Just keep pushing forward. Learn as much as you can here. You only have this one lifetime until you go to the next. So if you are not happy with something, change it, change it, change it. You cannot change others, but you can change yourself. So keep pushing through your life. You can do it. You are not alone. You have a whole team unseen behind you, helping you push through. You have got this. You have got this. You are not alone. All of us are right behind you. If you guys need anything, call the shop, 814-254-4523.